All right, folks, it's a big one today. I hope you can stick with me for this whole time because my guides have told me this message is urgent and we need you to share it. That is not something that I normally say. That is not something that my guides, I feel like, have ever really said to me. So I'm just going to bring this through and we'll see what happens. This is a message about power and the specific place that we are at in our ascension right now. And it's very important, I feel like, that we look at these timelines again and what's coming down the pipeline and what we're being asked of right now. So let's hop in.
Do you feel the light? Do you feel the light? Do you feel the light coming? Do you feel the light? Do you feel the light? Do you feel the light coming? Do you feel the light? Do you feel the light? Do you feel the light?
Okay, everybody. So the Arcturians, they are here. They've connected with me to bring through this message, and it just feels like we're at like one of the most important moments here. We're reaching it. I know it feels like we probably hear this all the time, but I mean, the energy of this transmission came through yesterday afternoon, and I have been like buzzing from this energy for the last 24 hours. So that tells me how potent I feel like this is and how important it is. So we want to talk about the timelines again, because something is happening and something's coming down the pipeline that they need us to be aware of. The words my guides also said to me is, we can't wait anymore. There's no more putting this off. There's no more hoping people will step up. They're saying we cannot wait anymore because something, the dark is planning something. So it feels like this is a call for us to step into that sovereignty and finally let all of this lower stuff go and know and trust that we are fully supported and taken care of and provided for in this energy, that everything that is higher and divine is here supporting us. It is waiting for us to step into that level with it. So with that said, let's look at the timelines. So some of you have probably seen one of my previous videos where I'm talking about the 3 timelines. Right now, the focus is on 2 timelines because I feel like these 2 lower ones are going to merge. So let's look at this higher timeline. I'm like deciding which color I want to use. I'm going to use blue for this higher timeline. Okay. So here is the higher timeline. It's blue, nice, crystal clear blue. Okay. Here's that higher timeline. And then the lower one, I'm going to do with black. Okay. So that's right here. This feels like a 4D timeline. This feels like a 5D timeline. So what I'm being told is they are running parallel to each other right now. It almost looks just like this, like the lines on a road, the 2 parallel lines dividing a road. And that's exactly what it's doing. There's one side of the road and then there's the other side of the road. So let's talk about what these are. Because what's happening right now with people is, let's say you'll be up here in this consciousness, and then this timeline, it's going to kind of like creep in. Okay. It like kind of creeps in. It has like all this fuzziness in between it, and it's going to pull you down, and it pulls you back down into here. And this keeps happening. It's like this up and down. And a lot of people have probably been feeling this. It's like, I'm great one day, I'm feeling so high vibe. And then the next day it's like I plummet and I'm in this doubt. I'm in this desperation, this depression. And it's just like, what is happening? Why do I keep bouncing up and down like this? It's the timelines. They're super close, but they're also separate. They're splitting. So right now we're in this kind of this parallelness with them. Okay. So we have these 2 timelines. I'm going to erase this just so it can be more clear here. Okay. We have this higher timeline and we have this lower one that are super close and they're running parallel. In the month of August, I feel like we're officially making the choice. The choice started opening up and presenting itself in June. Which one do you want? And there was other multiple timelines. So there's also this like much lower 3D one, which is still, we're so caught in the 3D. Me versus you. You're right, I'm wrong. You need to think this way, not this way. And it's just so caught. And it's just like, you know, it's all this storm, this lower one, the war, all that kind of stuff. It's down here. Then there's this like 4D one. This feels like that AI, like artificial, big amounts of technology coming in to trap people. And what it wants to do right now, how this timeline exists and powers itself is through those lower energies of depression, desperation, doubt, lack, victimhood, all that kind of stuff. It wants you to be in that because what it's creating, it feeds off of that. On this higher timeline, there is no victimhood, desperation. There is only power, trust, sovereignty, support for ourselves. It's beautiful. And you can feel it in your body when you're in that higher place for yourself before you dip. Because I know a lot of us are dipping. And I know that because I've talked to people, but also because it was happening to me. So this timeline keeps pulling people down. And I was shown this image of a bunch of us like standing on this beautiful land. It looked vibrant and beautiful. And then and we're like happy and we're all just kind of like, oh, this is great. What's here? And then it's like we could feel this energy starting to seep in between us. And we all look at each other and go, oh, S-H-I-T. And it's like, and it just like sucks us back. So it's like creeping in. It's going to like wrap itself around you, kind of like a snake. And it's going to be like, are you going to be scared? Are you going to go back into fear? Are you going to do this, this, this? It wants you to. And I started looking at both of these timelines, and this lower kind of 4D one, to me, I kept looking. It was like these big rocks. The scenery looked like kind of a desert. And I'm like, what's here? What's on this timeline? And the guides kept saying, nothing. Nothing is here. But they want you to think that something is here. They want you to think that you can get your power from this timeline by something that they introduce. We all know, and I talked about in another video, that they've brought some things forward tech-wise that tells you, I can be your power for you. Now, this doesn't mean that we can't use tech at all. That's not what I'm saying. There are many benefits to tech. I'm using a microphone, a camera. I'm going to use my computer to edit this. So it's like those beautiful options so that people can put themselves out there. But there's this tech that says, I will be your power for you. I will do and be your connection for you. And it's sneaky. It's slithering. You don't realize that it's actually keeping you from being in your sovereign self. So when I'm looking at this timeline, and the guides are like, there's nothing here, but I can feel, they're showing me, and it's as if I'm like, gosh, but there is something here. There's something wrong. Why do I keep feeling this way? This lower part of me. Why can't I just step into my power? I have to figure out what the block is. And all of a sudden I hear my guides go, there is no block anymore. It's not that we're blocked. We're just blocking ourselves from stepping fully on to this timeline, the blue one, the higher timeline. And they're saying all this lower timeline does is it pulls you back into this desperation, and you keep searching for the thing. I got to figure this out. Why am I feeling like this? And the dark's there like, ha ha ha, we got them. They're going to keep looping. And it until we finally go, oh, there is no root to this anymore. It's just an illusion that's been created to pull me back down, so I keep focusing on what's wrong. Do you see what I mean? So they're looping us, and we have to, once we can see that and see that, oh, this dipping that I'm doing isn't real. It's just an illusion to keep us focused on something lower. That's it. There's no block anymore. The block is allowing these darker thought forms to come in and perpetuate themselves. Once we say, oh my gosh, it's not real. I'm going to keep pulling myself up to this. And it's literally this thing that we're going to keep doing that's like, nope, 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 I don't consent. Nope, that's not real. I want this. And we're just going to keep choosing that. So the dark is doing a lot right now to try and hold us back. They want to create distortion. They want us to focus on things that are lower or darker. It could be, health, our health issues. It could be relationship issues. It could be all these things, knowing that we are sovereign and these things don't have to be a thing anymore. We know that everything, the solution or whatever it may be, is going to be presented to us. We have to trust that now. We have to start stepping into that energy. They are telling me that in September, so the month of August is us preparing, releasing, and getting into gear so that we can be on this higher timeline. In September, they're telling me this goes into like full swing, which timeline you want to be on. It doesn't mean that if we get into October or November, you still can't jump from this to this. That is always available. But it kind of feels like we only have that amount of time. I know that sounds crazy, but the guides were just like, we have to choose now. We have to be emphatic in our choice because there's something coming down the pipeline. So they're making me feel like in mid to end of November, beginning of December, the timelines start to go like this. And they split even more. So it's going to be a little more difficult to make that jump. But there's a lot more here. Now, the reason that they're like, we have to choose, is they're making me feel like as well, around November and December is this, what would I call it? It's like this trap. That the dark is planning another trap. They've actually been planning it this whole time. They're just kind of slowly introducing us, seeing who's going to buy into it. And we have to, let me take this out. It's actually like this. We have to jump the trap. So not only are we jumping timelines, but we have to jump the trap. So they're putting it here, and it's this thing that I feel like they're going to introduce, this concept that is going to trap people in this lower timeline. Okay? They want to pull them into, and I feel like the timeline starts to, it's one timeline, but they'll like dump people back into this 3D timeline. And then this 4D, it like, how do I explain this? It will loop back to here, back to this September point. And you'll have the choice again. Do you want to jump up here, or do you want to stay on this one and get stuck back in the trap and just keep looping? So you'll have to, like, even if you pick this lower timeline, it doesn't mean you can't jump up to the higher one, but you'll get sucked in a little bit more. And then you're going to loop back, it feels like, in a few months, and you'll have the choice again if you want to jump. But it feels like then there's going to be another trap that you're going to have to jump. So it's so important that we have to step into our sovereignty right now, that we have to step into this power. So there's a few things here. Number one is we have to step out of victimhood and the feeling lost or sorry for ourselves or things like that based off of our circumstances or whatever may be going on. Because I know we are all dealing with circumstances that are much less than desirable. It's a collective thing. We're not alone in this. Now, there is this aspect of we have to know that when we are in our power, that will carry us to where we need to be. We're letting go of, I don't know how to figure this out. I don't know what to do. Someone please help me. I need to find something from the external to fix this for me. What's going to happen is we are going to dive into our heart space. We're following that. A lot of us are feeling like, I have these ideas that I want to implement, that I want to bring forward to create for New Earth. The guides are saying the biggest thing we can do right now is to do that. Start the action. Yes, we can sit and meditate and envision New Earth all we want, but they're saying the most effective thing that we can do is our action. And that action isn't always like, I want to start an intuitive business, let me do that. I want to start a YouTube channel. That's not always the action, but for some of us, it might be. The action can also be like, I'm going to stay in my heart, and maybe my heart today tells me I want to go get an ice cream, so I'm going to go do that. My heart today tells me I want to say hello to somebody on my walk. I want to, pet a dog that I see at the beach. Whatever it may be, we're following that. We're taking the responsibility that our heart is giving us, and we're owning it. The action is the most important step. And this also ties into this action of, am I going to feel sorry for myself? Or am I going to say, no, I've got this. I know I'm going to be provided for. We're working these kinks out. Now, I know this is not an easy task, but the guides are saying they are here supporting this. I want to just give you an example or tell you something from my life. I was dealing with a lot of up and down. I really was. And for weeks, I was calling on my angels, my guides, saying, I need your help to show me how I can pull myself into this power. And little by little, things started coming in. And then all of a sudden, something unexpected came through from a friend. And I was just like, oh, it clicked. I saw it. And I was like, I see it. And I looked at these timelines, and it was just like, I get it. It's just trying to trap me. It's trying to trick me into thinking something's still wrong. Nothing's wrong anymore. It's just us avoiding our power. That's what they want us to do. They want us to be in the storm. Okay. So they're saying that we're switching generators in 2026. You know how it's like the power goes out and you have to move to like a generator to power things? It's like we've been running off this like low end generator for so long. And now it's like this new big generator is coming in our bodies. It feels like at the beginning point of 2026 somewhere that we're switching to now a more powerful generator within us, and that feels like the heart space. So it's like a generator switch that's happening. So we have to prepare for this. And if we stay on this lower point, that generator switch doesn't happen. So I want to talk about what this trap is. My guides haven't given me all the specifics about it. I'm still sitting with all of this as well. But what I was shown is, and the words I heard were, automated healing centers. And I think this is going to be more than just places you go, but it's going to be offerings to heal your body, I feel like through technology. They were showing me this amazing, like beautiful looking, like healing center in the middle of nature. And this one room had like these pods in it. And people would step into the pods, and then like all this frequency and light would go through their bodies. It's not real frequency. It's not real light. It's false. And it would make them feel good at first. And then their health would start to plummet, or they'd start to have other symptoms. So then they'd want to come back. Well, this worked once or twice before. I know there's more here. And then when that doesn't work, it feels like they're going to introduce something else. And it feels like this is the route to get people to put technology into their bodies. And also it feels like in these pods, not only is it sending frequency and like this false light into their body, it's also completely scanning the body, their memory, thoughts, everything in the body, so that they have all this data on this person, and they can then sell them things. They know how to get into their psyche to sell things to them and get them to agree to this. Let's put this technology in your body so then we can always control you. It's going to be wrapped in this thing that sounds like beautiful and wonderful and easy. And I promise you it's not. This is how it's a trick. I'm not saying that there can't be benevolent technology in the future, that there can't be things like this in the future that are helpful. But I'm saying right now, this particular stuff that may be coming forward, and there could be more to this, it feels not benevolent. It feels like a trick. They're also telling me that, this is a hard one for me to say. They're telling me that there's gonna be a lot of false light. And by that, I mean like spiritual people who might be really big, they might be really respected, but they are false light, and the dark is working through them, and they might even be promoting this stuff. They're showing me in this healing center, like all this technology, and then there's this room with all these people, and they're kind of like being hypnotized by the spiritual person. So this is why our intuition and our discernment is so important, and knowing how to recognize how the dark likes to trap so that we don't get trapped. But that's one of the reasons why we came here. It's not the only one, but it's one of the main reasons. We came here to see the dark and how it operates. We came here to see it so that we can know and understand, so that we don't fall for it again, and we can pass this information to other versions of us. So what they're telling me is that there's a lot of stuff going on right now, whether these are like news stories, things they're putting in the food, the water, the air, whatever it may be. It's all a frequency match to victimhood, to lack, to desperation, to all of those types of feelings. When we have them in the body and we let those run the body in our reality, then those things, so let's say it's heavy metals, let's say it's pesticides, let's say it's some type of sound frequency that gets into the body, it gets in there, and it attaches into that fear, that desperation, that victimhood. That's the frequency match, right? They're magnets. So it's looking for that. If you're on this higher timeline, I don't feel like we have any of those feelings. We're choosing our power every time, not our fear or our victimhood. We know that we are sovereign, and everything we need is going to be provided to us. We can still be in this state of my health is absolute dog crap, but I know it's going to get better because I'm choosing my power. I'm choosing to trust and know that this is going to heal. Just being in that energy, they are showing me that any of this stuff that's looking to come into our bodies and magnetize to these lower frequencies will have nothing to cling to, and it just falls out of the body. I felt it. I could feel it in the body. So like heavy metals, it's just like, it just falls out. It's like Keanu in The Matrix when they fire the bullets and he just looks at them and goes, no. And he can like pick them out and then make them fall. It's like, that's what the frequency does. So that's this higher timeline. We're learning to live in this fifth dimensional consciousness that creates a frequency in our body. We have to choose it. We can't sit here and expect that the universe or the ETs or the angels or whoever is going to choose it for us and magically just make this happen in our body. We are doing it first. And the guides have come through to say we don't have any more time to waste. So it feels like there's just lots of stuff. This trap is something that's coming that's saying, I'll take care of this for you. I'll save you from this, even though I'm the one that made you feel this way in the first place. They want us to feel in our victimhood so they can trap us. So now that we know that, you can say, I see it. Sarah, I see it. See it. You know that this is what they're doing, right? There's nothing here for us on this lower timeline anymore. It's all up here. So I've mentioned this before in another video about our inverted reality, that there's this inverted matrix or dome that's over the earth. So we live in an inverted reality. What that means is the archons, the dark, whatever you want to call it, they want us to pay attention to the external and look at the external to then create a reaction in our body, because they know that we actually create our reality from within us, right? So if we're on that higher timeline and in that higher energy, we're creating a reality that's based off of that. It's just like the dog that's barking at your neighbor's house. The dog's barking, and it's driving you nuts. You have a choice. We come into this presence and this state and we say, doesn't matter. I'm not going to let it bother me. I'm going to go about my day. That's the dog's thing. That's that owner's thing. And we just block it out. And we not even block it out. We just say, it's okay. We accept it. We just say, okay, fine. That's what you want to do. Go ahead. And what the dark wants us to do is say, oh, I have to put a stop to this. I'm going to go bang on my neighbor's door. I'm going to leave a note. I'm going to tell him, you got to do something about that dog. It's so loud. And we cause a frenzy and we cause a conflict and we do all this stuff. And the dark's there like, we got him. Yes. We agitated him enough. Instead of being like, it's okay. Oh, that's what you want to do? That's fine. I'm not going to pay attention to it. And as you do that, I've been noticing this more and more. As this happens, things like this happen, noise, whatever it may be, you just say, oh, okay. It stops. The other day, I was outside, same scenario. I have a neighbor whose dog barks all the time, and I'm just like, whatever. I was sitting outside meditating, journaling, and the dog starts barking. I go, okay. And then it just stopped. Okay. So that's like just the scenario. You know, it could be a health flare. It could be, I didn't sleep last night. It could be the heat. It's so hot and it's making me fatigued. It could be, I got a bill in the mail and it's, for $500 and it's like, oh my gosh, how am I going to afford this? We're going to look at it and say, okay, I see you. And I'm not going to give in to that. I'm not going to do it. I'm going on this higher timeline. And I want to say something about the bills too. Let's say you get a $500 bill and you're like, this is unexpected. That's also we want to flip our perspective there. It's the universe saying, you are getting this because you can afford it, because I'm going to give you the money to be able to afford this. It's not going to be a problem. And you just know that. We're stepping into this alignment, the centeredness. This isn't going to be a problem. And that's the state we have to come into. And from that state, we are taking action over and over and over again. Could be a meditation, could be us envisioning, what New Earth looks like. It could be us, saying hello to a friend, good morning, to a stranger, whatever it may be, and offering a kindness. It could be us starting an intuitive business. It could be us starting a YouTube channel or a podcast or whatever it may be. It's the action that you are feeling called to do, that you're telling yourself, I can. I'm not saying, what will people say? They're saying, do it now. And they're saying, we are starting it now. We're in this setup because it's pulling us onto this higher timeline. We're trusting the process of that. And they're making me feel like when we have this generator switch in 2026, all that starts to expand. And then it's like we've been building from this energy and it's like, phoom, and it's like this plane, this timeline itself becomes a whole plane and it starts to expand and we're existing on this plane of consciousness. The other reason why it's so important for us to make this jump right now and to have as many of us reach up into this higher timeline and jump this trap is because we're going to be holding that energy. It's going to become so much more accessible for other people who are, still choosing and wondering about this higher timeline. They're going to feel that energy there. It's going to be so much more potent because all of us are going to be up in that. So when we make this choice and step into our power now, more and more people are going to be attracted into this higher timeline. So by choosing it, you're becoming a magnet as well, but for people who are choosing their power, because you have. It's just like, I was saying about the lower timeline, like, the stuff they're trying to put in the body, how it's just not going to be a magnet for it. It's going to fall out. It's going to become will be magnets for people's power, for their sovereignty, and it's going to help pull people up into this higher timeline. And even after the loop, it's like people are going to say, what happened to this person? What happened to so-and-so? Oh, they're doing this now. I want to go check that out. So we're going to be magnets to pull people up into this higher realm and into this higher consciousness. So it's so important that we do that. The more we have there, the more we'll get there, the more others will get there. So it does feel like we'll be anchoring in so much energy, and it will really help with this ascension process so more and more people can choose to come into this higher state of being. The other thing is, since we're living in an inverted reality, there's a reverse that's kind of happening. We've talked about a soul trap, like when we die, that, a lot of us got caught in this trap where we just we'll just reincarnate. And they trap souls that way. And this inverted matrix helped with that and so many other things. But now, since that is being dismantled, and since we're going on to these higher and higher timelines, they want to trap people on this lower timeline. And just how we are going through an ascension in the body. So we are switching from one dimension to another, one consciousness to another in the body. We're not passing away to do this and going up into the higher dimensions after that. We are doing it in the body. So the dark, it's very clever and sneaky and says, we're going to do it in the body too. We're going to create these traps where we get to put things in the body, where we trap people in the body in this state, in this timeline. So they can't reincarnate anymore? We'll just make them not reincarnate. We'll make them into transhumans and they'll just serve us forever, as long as they possibly can. So they're trying to do that too. They're trying to do something in the body as well. But we're not going to let them do it. It's not going to happen. And I just want to say, even if for some reason you loop back in, there, you know, you find yourself in this lower timeline, you can always jump. This isn't like, the trap isn't permanent. But this isn't about fear. This isn't for us to go frantic and worry, oh my gosh, I don't want to be in this trap. It's for us to know I'm not going to be in it, because I am choosing to honor my sovereignty, honor my heart over and over and over again. The other day, I was going for a walk in the morning. I always take a walk in the morning. And these thought forms are like coming in, trying to tell me like, oh, it's not going to be a good day, or I want to doubt this that I'm doing. I want to doubt this. And I go, no. And I'm talking to myself out loud. I'm like, no, I do not consent. And I'm just like talking to these thought forms, and I'm like bringing in light and like pushing them away. And I'm like doing this with my hands, and I'm talking out loud. I'm like, no, I do not consent. And this woman walks past me with her dog, and I just go, good morning. But she could totally hear me and see me doing all this stuff. And I wanted to be like, I'm just jumping timelines here. But that's kind of what we're doing. You know, we're driving, we're sitting in our bedroom, we're going for walks, and we're like, no, I do not consent. Like, I know what you're trying to do. And, and our excuse is, sorry, I'm just jumping timelines here. So, we can make light of this. We can have fun with this. We can know it's okay. We're going to be safe. The more we can surrender into that and fall into it like a sweet, beautiful bathtub full of, cleansing, yummy energy. It's just like, we're okay. I'm going to suspend into this. And the guides are here saying, we are here. We want to let you know we're doing our part too, to hold you in this space, to lift you into this space. Call on us. Say it out loud. I want your help. Show me how to step into this power. Show me what I need to see to choose this higher timeline. And I promise you, you will be shown it. And I just want to remind you that this is why we came. We came here to make this jump. We came here to see the dark, what they do, how they operate, and say no to it. We are at the point where we are ready to step into this power, and we are being ushered into it. We are here to remember how powerful we truly are, that we don't need to get reactive to something that is happening externally. Even our body, I would consider external, because it's outside of our soul. We came here to remember how powerful we really are and not get infiltrated by this lower energy. We know that we are the connection. We are the sovereignty. We are the trust. We are the creators of this reality based on the consciousness that we choose to embody. So this is a point of power that we are absolutely being asked and ushered into. So we're making this jump. We are feeling the power within ourselves, and we are bringing it forward. We create from the inside out. We manifest from the inside out. Ask your body every day, show me what it feels like to be in abundance. Show me what it feels like to be in joy. Show me what it feels like to be in safety. Show me that version of me that feels to be in safety, and get into that state. Feel it in your body. Know that when you do these dips, it's an illusion. It's the dark trying to pull you down and say, don't you want to keep looping in this? Don't you want to keep playing this? You don't want to. So to look at it and say, I know, I see you. I do not consent. I detach. Go back to where you came from. And we pull back up into this energy. We're going to be talking a lot more about this and becoming higher dimensional this month in Soul History in my membership. So if you want to join for that, you can. I also provide you with 2 really powerful meditations each month in addition to the channel teaching that will help you step into your power and understand and see this more and feel it in your body so that you can get into that powered state and receive the information yourself. See it the way that you personally need to see it. I also really want to help with this process. So I'm offering 2 live events in the next month or so. The first one is going to be Jumping the Trap. We are going to join as a group together, and I'm going to guide us through a deeper meditation to look at these 2 timelines to see what might be pulling us, down, up and down, up and down, releasing that and looking at this higher timeline. What does your heart want to step into? How are you supposed to contribute in this collaboration as we build this higher timeline? And how we jump this trap, and maybe even seeing a little bit about what this trap is so that we can be more aware of it. The other is, a lot of this is a repeat of Atlantis and that time period. So I want to clear some of these Atlantean technologies that are, false agendas that are coming through. So we're going to do that as well. We're going to do an Atlantis meditation that's a little more specified, looking at the technologies, your lifetime there, or your involvement with Atlantis. Not all of us may have had a lifetime in Atlantis, but we probably had some sort of involvement with that time period, and we'll learn more about that too. So if you want to join for either of those events, those links are below. We're in such a powerful time right now to create the earth that we are wanting, and it's time. The guides are here saying we can't wait anymore. We're not having more souls get trapped. So let's do this together and jump timelines and jump the trap. And I'm here to let you know you've absolutely got this.
Do you feel the light? Do you feel the light? Do you feel the light coming? Do you feel the light? Do you feel the light?